Ilia quit on his stool, almost took Justin out in the second round. It looked like he had really tried to finish Justin, and then Justin started landing bombs in the third round. Ilia had slowed down quite a bit. Justin had him down with his two hands and just smashed a knee into his rib cage. You could see him go like that, and that was the end of the round. The end of the fourth round, Ilia quit on his stool. Both of his eyes were swollen shut. His nose was up. He'd taken so many punches to the face. That was the greatest fight of all time. You know, I'm a giant Ilia Topuria fan as well, and I think he'll be back better than ever. And I think sometimes a loss is like one of the most important things a fighter can ever have, because they realize like you can be beat, and you need to know that you're a human. You need to know that you can't just throw caution to the wind sometimes. You just engage in these wild scraps. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more tactical. Sometimes you got to realize like you can't take everybody out, and that's the case with Justin. Like, couldn't take him out, and he almost did in the second round. Got real fucking close.
Few moments in MMA create more disagreement than a referee ending a fight. Some fans believe fighters should be allowed to continue until they can no longer go on, while others argue that officials have a duty to prevent unnecessary punishment once a competitor can no longer defend himself properly. That debate has resurfaced following Ilia Topuria's brutal defeat, with fans still divided over whether the contest should have continued or whether the stoppage came at the appropriate moment. The reaction from the fighter's corner only added another layer to the controversy.
That's when he reacted, and he must have said no more.
I mean, he wanted to continue to fight, let the guy go. So he sits in the corner, tells his cornerman he can't see. And then he's got the doctor doing the eye test, and the doctor's saying no. It's like, oh, this fight's fucking over. But then they let him continue. But I don't know who threw in the towel in the fourth. It's almost like Goddard said, the fight's fucking over.
No, his brother said we're going to keep fighting, and then he looked into his brother's eyes, and then he waved it off.
Ilia literally could have walked off and been champ. If Ilia, when he hit him with that liver shot and Gaethje kind of went down, if he would have walked off, the ref would have stopped that fight. If you get hit with those liver shots and you kind of cramp up, you can't just get up. You kind of just are there for a sec. So if he walked off and Gaethje's just laying there, maybe the ref tries to stand him up or whatever, but...
If a fighter walks away while his opponent is still down, the referee may need to intervene and assess the situation before deciding what happens next. The reason these moments become so emotional is simple. Elite fighters almost never want their contest stopped. Even when things appear to be going badly, they usually believe they are still one clean shot away from changing the entire fight. That refusal to give up is one of the qualities that separates top-level competitors from everyone else.
We just witnessed probably the greatest fight of this year. Ilia Topuria taking on Justin Gaethje. Now I'm gonna start off right here. I was one who picked against Justin Gaethje. When you look at Justin Gaethje's previous fights, when he's fought Dustin Poirier, when he's fought Charles Oliveira, when he's fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, when he's fought Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje gets dropped. He gets dropped and he gets finished. I mean, that's something that we've seen time and time again in his career. And what would make no different when he's fighting a guy like Ilia Topuria, where Ilia Topuria, what he does is he puts people to sleep. Max Holloway puts him to sleep. Charles Oliveira puts him to sleep. Alex Volkanovski got put to sleep. And you guys might hate me for this, but the best thing Justin Gaethje can do is retire. He should retire on this amazing victory against a legend like Ilia Topuria. I mean, I keep saying Ilia Topuria's a legend. He's still young in his career, but he's a phenomenal athlete. You retire on top. You save your brain cells. You ride off in a sunset. You beat one of the best athletes. You gave him his first fucking defeat right away with the White House belt and the undisputed lightweight champ.
The mentality that drives fighters toward championship success can also make them resist accepting defeat when their bodies are already exhausted. In the Topuria-Gaethje matchup, many observers felt Justin's constant pressure gradually shifted control in his favor. Instead of allowing Ilia to establish his preferred rhythm, Gaethje kept creating exchanges, varied his attacks, and maintained the intensity as the fight progressed, steadily building momentum from round to round.
I'm not saying he cheated or anything. I'm just saying, I guarantee you don't want to go into battle thinking, had this huge fight with my wife. You don't want any of those thoughts in your head before a fight.
I mean, Ilia Topuria, in previous fights, you could tell he always had like his family, his wife, his kids. I just watched a documentary that came out on Ilia Topuria, and he was just talking about how much he loved his girl. And that could have been his fault that they got a divorce. I wonder how much that had to do with everything.
It had everything to do with everything. It's all connected.
Yeah, Ilia's in the hospital. He's busted up. I'm not a doctor, but his eye looked like he probably has broken orbital. I don't know that. That's not a fact, but I'm just assuming. And my plans for him are to go home and rest and recover and take his time. And tonight was a rough night for him. I just want to make sure he's healthy and good, and not even thinking about him fighting again. Just want him to go home and relax and rest.
As the later rounds unfolded, the amount of punishment Topuria had absorbed became one of the main concerns, with many observers questioning whether he still had a realistic route back into the contest. That is where the stoppage debate becomes complicated. How much opportunity should a fighter be given to recover? And at what point should a referee end the fight once a competitor can no longer defend himself effectively? Those questions remain at the heart of the discussion surrounding the bout.
Knew what was going to happen to him. Walking forward with their hands down on the opening bell, you're going to get walloped.
People saying I'm juiced, what a compliment. People saying I got bricks in my fucking gloves, what a compliment.
Do you see the picture, the image? There's like rocks in his hands.
What a compliment.
Have they not watched any of his fights?
As ambitious as you are, you can never make everybody happy.
No.
That's why it's hard to be a champion.
Which sucks.
The pressure.
You know for a fact, you do not ever as a fighter say, I cannot see. It's over.
Right.
And he was counting on that. He said he had already stated it. He didn't need to say it again. I stopped him twice. That night. There's no...
Facial injuries and vision issues can affect far more than physical health. They can interfere with training, timing, preparation, and the confidence needed to compete against elite opponents. Rushing back too soon could create additional problems, making patience a crucial part of Topuria's recovery. Despite the setback, many believe this could become a defining chapter in his career. MMA history is filled with champions who suffered major defeats, learned from them, and returned with improved skills and a different approach. Now the focus turns to Topuria's next decision. Return against another elite opponent, take additional time to fully recover, or use the experience to become a more complete fighter. Whatever he chooses, the interest surrounding him has not disappeared. If anything, fans are more curious than ever to see how he responds. When Topuria eventually returns to the octagon, people will be watching for more than the result. They'll be watching to see what kind of fighter this adversity has created.
Physically, now I don't know what the truth is, but all these reports are that he has 2 fractured orbitals and a broken nose. Just that alone, just the orbitals alone, like anytime you've got eye injuries, like anything severe with your eyes, long-term consequences vary.
It's psychological.
Absolutely.
And
your
physical.
body heals.
And physical.
The body is resilient.
Yeah. Like, I'm telling you,
broken bones make stronger bones. Like that is his orbital bones will be stronger.
It depends on where, though, Justin. The orbital bone, I had my orbital broken, and for 6 months I would do this and my tooth would move, and it's right where my sinus cavity is. You remember when you hit me with the spinning elbow?
Your tooth would move,
dude.
When you push
right
on
here,
your cheek,
and my tooth would move.
Oh, God.
I still feel the soft spot, but this is a very weak area where your sinus cavity is. And you broke both orbitals. And
this debate has existed in combat sports for generations, and there is still no universal agreement on the perfect moment to stop a fight. Many coaches and analysts maintain that protecting a fighter's long-term health must take priority over the desire to continue competing. Fighters may strongly disagree while caught up in the moment, but there are numerous cases where competitors later acknowledged that an early stoppage may have protected them from even greater harm. That is why the conversation around Topuria has moved beyond the result itself and toward his recovery, rehabilitation, and ability to rebuild his confidence after such a demanding contest.